We are live back in the building. Guys, let's get in. Let's get into the show and see what's going on. We are talking about Manchester United and what's going to happen with Erik Ten Hag. We're saying we should back the manager because it's possible that we can sack him and get another manager. But it's been 18 months, guys, and are we going to repeat the same thing over and over and over again? We've done this for the last decade. Where has this gotten us to a point where we have a mixed bag of nuts of players, and half of the bag of nuts is spoiled? It's not tasting good. Are we going to eat that stuff? I don't think so. No one wants a stomach ache. Right now, we're dealing with lots of indigestions, not to mention injuries. All these things are happening to the team right now. Is it only the manager's fault? Could it be blamed on the past structure and owners and decisions made by the recruitment team? Could it be the fact that we just don't have players at the right level, at this moment to play the style of play that we want? We have been complaining a lot about style of play, what's on offer, what are they doing, how are they going to go about it? Is it because of the manager not setting up the tactics right, or is it because the players aren't executing the tactics right? Let's get into the show, guys, and see what you're saying. Smash those likes and subscribe. Let's just do the intro one more time for good faith. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Drex, what are you saying, my bro? Tell me
Yo,
what you're thinking.
I was basically saying what I was basically saying was the manager's second season isn't even done yet. Right? It's not done yet. We still have a few like what we still have the best part of March to come. We have April and maybe the first week of May and June. Then baby, then you can actually say two seasons is done. But people tend to say let's skip the manager. Like now, excuse me, when Eric Ten Hag was coming in, I feel like because he started the season so well, right? Or he started last season because of the result of last season, right? People actually is increased the what should I call it, the fans' expectation, right? And fans are still acting as one as though we still had it like good when Ferguson. It's like Ferguson just left yesterday, right? And everybody, we've been crying out to the Glazers out for the past 13 years, right? And all of a sudden it feels like the Glazers are actually under the blanket and we are just in there yelling at whatever whoever we find, and we know who the person we're actually looking for. We know who we're looking for, right? So for me, you've got to get a manager. At least let the manager run down his contract. Let him see out the time. There's no point because what we are hearing is, oh, he's got like basically he's got like 3 matches to decide his fate, right? To me that's what we're hearing. But I find it strange because what has 3 matches got to do? This season, most people actually did not expect United to finish top top four based on how the last season ended. A lot of people were like, if United finish top four, it's gonna be a miracle. They were actually saying if United finish top four, then they should build something outside Old Trafford for Erik Ten Hag, right? But now season is what it is, and everybody's like, we're crying wolf. Everybody's panicking, bro. The manager yesterday, I saw a lot of people actually after the game. I saw a lot of people actually going into meltdown. A lot of them were like, oh, why would the manager say fifth is to get Champions League? They pick the what should I call it? I'm not saying I'm not lowering standard here, but it was asked a question, right? In which he said, yes, fifth, with fifth, there's a possibility of making Champions League. You were asked a question like, do you think this team is good enough? Do you think we're going to make Champions League? Do you think you're going to qualify for the Champions League, right? And the manager answered and said, yo, fifth position could get us into the Champions League. So we're gonna do all we can to get in there. So I don't know what people are actually thinking. I don't know what people are actually thinking in them heads or within themselves, thinking this current team that we have, right, would actually get us titles. Joe, we were lucky to win a Carabao Cup last season. If we're that good, why didn't we win the FA Cup? If the team was that good, why didn't we win the FA Cup? Do you understand? The man took us to the final of the FA Cup, went as far as the is that the quarterfinal or the semi-final of the Europa League, and we all knew what happened back then in Sevilla when Lisandro Martinez came off. It was two quick fire goals, and we're basically done.
Done.
Our the dreadfulness of the season that we are seeing now started from that game, that said game, because that game in itself, if we had won that game and progressed to the next round of the Europa League, at least that would have built their confidence. The fact that we let two goals in quick succession, and we also came home and did some shenanigans or whatever we did when we went to Sevilla, it just let everything. It just felt like the packs of cards just went crumbling down. Like for me, I've always said this, and I will say it again. Right, there's doesn't make sense in sacking the manager midway. We season is almost done. Season is almost done. So people saying sack the manager now, getting an interim. To me they sound very they sound comical, right? Like it's hilarious because you sack the manager now, you get an interim. For sure, you're gonna be paying the interim some sort of fee. For sure, you're gonna let Eric Ten Hag go with some sort of fee compensation, right? Now, Eric Ten Hag is going to be leaving with some sort of compensation. Let's say as low as 10 million quid. You're getting an interim that you would pay. Not you wouldn't be paying the interim. Maybe let's say you pay the best case scenario, you give him 2 million, right? That's like 12 million. Then you're gonna hire a manager that's gonna come in, right? You put the manager maybe 15 million year contract, right? I'm just saying, right? Because it's United, we're hoping that the new structure, we know how to negotiate and all of that, right? So I'm just putting at best there. That's like what 30, that's like 30 27 million, if I'm not mistaken, or 30 million right there that you've just done in the space of what? In space of 3 months. You've already, and we want to improve the squad. And I'm hearing that the likes of McTominay was still gonna be here. The so it's that's but I'm here, like I said, I hear them. Listen to this report and this news or these rumors, and I laugh within myself and say, okay, how is this possible when we are yet to get the hierarchy? We only got the CEO now. We haven't got the DOF. We don't have the head of recruitment. We don't have the structure in place, but people are already saying this. I heard this. I heard that. So if we're gonna go with the report, right? It's it's not looking good. We're going to end up sacking the manager, but most of these players are still going to be here. So what are we doing? Are we going to be playing counter-attacking football where we have to revert to type the Ole ball and Mourinho kind of football, right? That's the only way some of these players can survive. And that's the only way some of these players can actually be useful, quote and unquote, no disrespect to them. That's the way some of them could be useful. And in that, even saying, having said that, you still have to look at some of them, their age, the sheer activities that they've had, the strain on their physical body, right? So who's to say that even with the counter-attacking football, they could actually flourish in it? For me, it does. I would just see, let Ineos come in and decide the style of football they want to play. If they want to play counter-attacking football, fine, leave. Then you can have some of these players. But if no, you want to play possession, deserving kind of football, then you need system players, not the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, because they're not giving you that. You need players that can actually play and fit a system, and these guys don't fit a system, in my
Well,
opinion.
Like we have some stats that that I gave you earlier. Could you bring them up, bro? Let's see what
Let's
let's
see.
talk about that because I feel like we need to go a little bit more in depth and have a conversation and talk about these things because we need to see a more perspective on the point system. Where are the positives in Eric Ten Hag and his performance so far with the team? What do we know about this squad? And what are we doing? Because at the same time we can say about the season has not been great, it hasn't been performing well. To be honest, like we could all say as fans, whether positive or negative, we wanted a better performance, we wanted more performances going on. But at the same time, you have to look at it from the perspective where it's very and largely possible that the manager is overperforming based on their circumstances right now, right?
Hmm.
And also, you have to, if you want to compare him with other managers, let's compare him with managers according to the same amount of seasons. Like if we look at Ten Hag, big up to you, Jarvis, big up to you, big up to you, Craig Warby, and big up to you, GB. And if you look at this right here, right? Let me just pop main screen. Um, so if you look at this stat right here, guys, this is 86 games played for in the first two seasons currently to this day, right? And look at the first two seasons of Eric Ten Hag side by side with Mikel Arteta. 168 points versus 157 points. 53 wins versus 47 wins. 25 defeats as opposed to 23. We have 9 draws as opposed to 16, right? The points per game is at 1.95, and for Mikel Arteta is 1.83. And that's a glaring stat right there. That shows that his performance so far has been much better than Mikel Arteta in his first two seasons at Arsenal. And we all know there was the Arsenal trending for the last season. If not last this season, it was not really trending. Last season and the season before, Mikel Arteta out was the most trending thing in Premier League football. And I would like to remind guys that this is the same Mikel Arteta that fans would say and claim that even when they were losing, finishing eighth, fifth, seventh, that they saw progress with him. And while some fans were saying we saw no progress, I have a friend, Claude Gunner. He's currently Arteta out because at the same time he loves what Arteta has done. But if Arteta doesn't bring him a title this season, his fourth and a half season, then he's not that guy. So I'm just looking at it from the perspective where if you look at Mikel Arteta receiving 4.5 seasons and still has not really won much or done much, you know what I mean? This is his first really breakout season, in my opinion, where he's doing really well both in the league and in the Champions League at the same time. Usually, Arsenal by this stage is knocked out of all competitions and is just playing in the league. You know what I mean? So, and it's usually some excuse where well, this league, the league is more important. Top four is more important. Trying to win the league is more important. You know what I mean? I don't know what your opponents, your points are, guys. Your opinions are as well in the chat. If you guys in the chat are willing to help me out, I can drop the link or you can just leave your comments in and I'll read them out. But Drex, let's hear what you have to say about this stat because for me, this is really glaring right now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's glaring on the one hand, right? But I remember when Arteta was on, like when he got on the season he got unemployed, right? It was, I know in that season he won the FA Cup for them. I think after 10 games, right? He won the FA Cup, and even at that, most people were complaining. But a few persons that actually knew what they wanted said, "Give the guy time." All right, it gave the guy time. Ateta finished eighth. Ateta struggled to actually win games. If you look at the record, Ateta actually struggled to win some games. Finished eighth twice, finished fifth, and the next thing Ateta was what was last season second, right? So it's why I urge fans to actually give the manager time. Why I urge fans to actually be patient and just see where we're going. Right. I kind of understand on the other hand that not everybody are going to be in the same boat. Not everybody are going to take the same flight to the same destination. Right. Everybody tends to be they want, some people want success now, some people want to win, some people want to have that bragging right. But guys, take maybe take a cool glass of water and just have a sip and think this through. This manager, Eric Ten Hag, has been worked under the likes of what's his name, Mortal Fleischer, and the Glazers, right? With all the shenanigans, Arnold, with all the shenanigans going up at the board level, the hierarchy, how people were leaking stuff and all of that, right? The backroom, behind the scene thing, all the stupidness going on. Because every day you can't deny the fact that we see these things every day, right? Now the manager with the players, don't forget, I keep saying the players, right? These players, the season before Eric Ten Hag came in, Ralph Ragnick actually said we needed an open heart surgery. 10 players out, 10 players in. A lot of the fans were lapping, were going with what Ralph Ragnick said. A lot of them were applauding him. A lot of them saying, you know what, give this man the consultancy role. Little did we know that it was going to the thing was going to backfire. Little did we
Hmm.
know that he wasn't going to get the role that he was initially hired for. A lot of fans were like, yeah, this man knows what he wants to do, right? But this is what happened. The man wasn't winning games, and the same set fans, some of them were like, no, I don't think this guy knows what he's doing. Like, how do you? So I understand the proof will be in the pudding, like they say, but when you're working with a broken structure, when you're working with, even in our day-to-day job, when you're working with a system that is not properly fixed, you can only do what you can do. You can only do what you can't perform magic outside. You're not a Lord Jesus Christ. You cannot do what you don't give what you don't have, right? Especially
Hmm.
with what you have in front of you, right? You can't be expecting this United team to be playing pass and retain ball, pass and retain the ball, pass. No, they don't know how to do it. The manager has tried several times. We had a report that said players were complaining about the repetitiveness of Erik Ten Hag, how he repeats stuff. Like in my head, when I heard that, I'm like, yo, the manager shouldn't be repeating stuff if he actually grabs it once and go with it. It's like kids, right? It's like kids in kindergarten. You have to tell them over and over and over. Even when you move from kindergarten to the next one, right? To the next, let's say, for us back in Nigeria, is from kindergarten to primary, right? To nursery then primary, right? So when you leave kindergarten three, you go to primary one. They still have to repeat some things to you, new things, but they have to repeat it. So for me, the manager does not need to repeat to professionals if they are grasping the thing at once, right?
True.
So when fans are saying that's like I said, when fans are saying it needs to be changed, right? I don't argue with them. I'm just saying, so on what ground? Change this manager and have the same setup. Because we are hearing now that the likes of Casemiro, Varane, those are the high earners, right? Maybe quote and unquote Sancho, which I feel I have a crazy theory that I will let go later at the end of the day, right? Maybe Sancho, which I am thinking from what we're hearing that it's not going to be, because that would be a financial decision. They're going to make a financial decision on Sancho. If they can't get enough, they would not let him go. So for them, it might be safer to let Eric Ten Hag go than to let some of these players that they think will be a financial. But the likes of Casemiro and Varane, there's a high chance, let's say 75-80%, that they would leave. Now, if you sell those players and the likes of McTominay is still here, the likes of Maguire for sure is still going to be here. So I'm looking like they will send Lindelof away, right? If you look at the likes of Rashford for sure is still going to be here. Bruno, nobody's taking Bruno off our hands. It's still going to be here. Anthony for sure is still going to be here. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Are
True.
we going to get another manager that would come work with this? Because we still have the likes of Mason Mount. We have Ganacho. We have Maino, right? Now, we have Hoyland. A few of these are prospect, right? But what if the next manager comes and say these guys are not what?
True.
So
True.
are we going to start all over again where we see a 1 year bounce of my new manager bounce and we're back to type after? No. So for me, it's now looking like United have are taking a leaf from the Chelsea's booklet where they have to change managers now. And look at what is done to Chelsea. There's no
True.
consistency. There's no, okay, this manager's left. It's finished his time, right? Let's no in the season, before the season ends, go, or after a year, go get back another manager, redo the whole thing again. So for me, like, if you're gonna let Eric Ten Hag go, obviously you're going to get a new manager in that you might be compelling to use same players. Whether we as fans want to believe that's not going to happen, bro, it's right there in our face. Ineos wouldn't be pumping no 300 million into the squad. Ineos won't be doing that. And to get most of these players out, it means you have to be pumping a lot of money in, and Ineos is not going to be doing that. Ineos just going to want to ease the fans by sacking the manager so they could have a new toy.
Probably. Well, you know,
Because go ahead, man, go ahead.
let me see. Let me see what Abs has to say. I'm gonna bring my buddy Abs in. Abs, let's hear what you have to say. You know, I just have this stat up here. I know you, I don't. I know you could see it. I know you're probably thinking, you know, are crazy to have it up here, but this is the facts of the matter, game for game, as terms of where they are at in season's progress after the amount of matches played current today. Right?
I do you know
Is it me or is Abs?
I think it's abs, abs,
Abs, I think
abs.
you're just
I
frozen,
froze.
bro. Oh man, I'm gonna bring in Olmo in the meantime while Abs. You know, I'm not sure what happened, but he just frozen there just now. You know, Olmo. Oh look, he's back.
Hello,
Big
I'm
up,
good. How's
bro.
everyone doing?
Yeah, what's
I'm
good, my?
good.
All right. Well,
Oh,
I see
just
Abs
get
is
back.
back, so we'll let
Yeah,
Abs go.
just get
Oh,
abs back here.
All
you're
right,
back,
I
and
will.
then we'll let you go after, right, Olmo? Abs, you were saying,
yo, I
bro?
don't know what happened there. You guys hear me, yeah?
Yeah, you're good to go
Yeah.
now, bro.
Yo, my neighbor's internet just cut me off. That's rude. That's a joke, by the way.
And
We expect that, bro. It's all good. It's all good.
You know
What you
what I
say, my
might do?
G?
Hey, listen, all good, right? I listen. I can't remember. These stats are actually quite good, and I understand. I think he's got a 61% win ratio as well, and all the rest of that. Ten Hag is looking good on stats, but we are watching him though.
I
Mm,
He's
get
not
you.
looking good on the pitch. You know
true,
what?
true.
1 second. I think my camera is causing all the trouble. Let me just disable that.
Oh,
You
good.
guys can still hear me, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We can hear.
But we are watching football. And Mark, you're in the group chat that we're just in. That piece of information I put in, I still ain't seen no one reply to it that was arguing a second ago. Right. I think what did I say? Last season we were 14 points off the top place.
Mm-hmm.
This season we're 19, and you know that's going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other team that I used as an example was Liverpool. Liverpool were 22 points off the top of the table, and this
Mm-hmm.
season they're leading the pack of the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sort of improvement you want to see your manager make year in, year out. I'm not saying that's a massive jump, don't get me wrong. Right. And I
Massive.
know
It's a
someone's
good
gonna
team.
throw out any minute now that Klopp, has been there for 7, 8 seasons. I get that. But you want to see improvements, not a decline.
Yeah.
And
Facts.
that's what's scaring me right now is that decline. Because if you remember seasons ago, Jose Mourinho finished second, 19 points behind Man City. And
Mm-hmm.
we were upset about that. We were upset at the end of the season. 19 points, second place to first. Unheard of, ridiculous. Da, 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 da. We're now 19 points now from the top. And even with Ten Hag season last season, what did I say? It was 14 points. The season before that with Ole, I think it was in his 20s. Season before that, this gap is not getting smaller for my that I like. Most of the times, it's getting bigger. That's
True.
what's worrying me. Now, I was just listening earlier what Admiral said about the idea of throwing out a new manager, throwing Ten Hag out, getting a new manager with these same players. I think I said it in the last show with you guys. I've said it on my podcast. I've said it on KG's podcast. The reason why myself right now, I'm 50-50 with Ten Hag. Yes, I know fence sitter, splinters and all that. The reason why I'm not throwing the book at Ten Hag is because he has players in this squad that failed under LVG, Jose, Ole, Double R as well. Because that
Mm-hmm.
6 month period is a long period.
Yep.
So can I blame him for everything? No. What I will blame him for is consistently being stubborn and
Mm.
picking players that that are just not performing for you. I'm gonna say one name. Mark is gonna smile straight away because I know he doesn't like this guy, Rashford.
I actually like him in over. I just mad because of how important he is for the team, in my opinion. But
Yeah, Rashford. How many times are you gonna keep playing this guy through bad form? This bad form has been a year now.
facts.
He only scores when he's been in trouble in the media. Have you guys noticed that? The Wolves,
Yeah,
he scored.
yeah,
5 games
when he,
later, Man City done an
yeah,
interview, scores.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
we
yeah.
have to get him to score. We have to make him do an interview
Yeah, or we have to get the media to be on his
to
back,
bully him.
right? Yeah, yeah, I
That's
get you.
ridiculous. And then I don't know what Ahmad does in training. From the clips I have seen, he's doing well. But for Anthony to be the person that you put on in that derby, there's certain points where I say this guy is gonna fall on his own sword, and it's decisions like that I go, I can't defend him. I want to, but I can't defend him.
I want to defend that statement, but tell what, right? Let me let Olmo go, and then we'll go on because I want to bring up something else to talk about, and then we'll come and go around again. Olmo, what you
Hey,
saying?
what's up?
I know
Yeah, you
you're on the
see,
other side of the fence, so.
so I'm on the other side, but I could look over to your fence and to ETH fence and see, I see what they're cooking over there. I see they're having a little cookout. So from time to time, I like to peek over the ETH fence and see like what skills they have. And listen, this whole thing with this Arteta thing, like that was Arsenal. Like they've never been winning. They have never been winning, but we have been winning. We have been winning. So you're telling me to go from something that I've been used to winning to now accept this is unacceptable for me. And
Agreed.
the way I see Ineos doing, like Ineos was gonna come in and get their own manager. They're not like you buy a car, you're gonna change the tire. You rent a place, you're gonna change the furniture. They're gonna change the furniture. The manager will go and the players will go. But the manager is the first thing like sadly not the manager is the first thing that will go. Like right off the manager, there's some players. Probably like there's gonna be one big name player that'll be gone. I don't know who, but I know a big name player will be gone because you have to make a statement, and that's what they will have to do.
True,
That's
true.
all. That's all I see Neil's doing right now. Like for me, this season's a write off. Like you see me, I don't say ETH out anymore. I just like just play out your season. Like you're gonna be good on the end of the season. There's no me reason for me to say ETH out. Just play out, do your best, build up your CV. I'm just looking at the football. I'm gonna look at the football on the pitch because what I see on the pitch, I don't like because because the manager said levels in training.
Hmm.
He said levels in training. He did that with the Sancho. He said levels in training. I'm like, okay, Sancho has not been performing in training to your standard. Okay, I accept that because you're the manager. Then I look at the pitch. I'm like, are these players perform to your training and standards? Because when it's time to play on the pitch, they're fumbling every single time. For me, I'm like, just take them out. They're not doing nothing. Like they're just here to take up space. So pretty much, I'm just here for the ride. I'm here for the season's over. Ineos, do something for me.
True.
Yeah, Abs, I wanted to ask a question. Maybe I'll go with you first, Abs. So if okay, I know what Omar just said, right? Arsenal are not used to winning. We are, right? But
Mhm.
Abs, we've been poor, man, for the past 10 what should I call it? For the past 10 years, in the past 10 years, we've been abysmal in terms of how the club has been run, right? And even the on-field issues, right? We get to see them. We saw a few we saw a lot under Mourinho. We saw the ones under Ole. Ole came in and did what he had to do, right? But we ended up seeing some shenanigans in on the field as well. Ralph Radnick, oh, it was obvious. The world could see what the problem was, right? So I know you're saying you're 50-50, more like on the fence and all of that, right? But do you actually think, or does anybody actually think that getting another manager now, I think we're forgetting the fact that the Glazers are still in this club. We're just thinking, okay, Ineos, we just come do this, do that, right? Do you actually think getting a new manager? I know if we push comes to shove, we have to do it, right? But I'm saying, do you actually think getting a new manager with what we know about this football club, right? I don't want to go into Ineos and say, okay, maybe they'll be the light at the end of the tunnel. But with what we know, going back with what we know, do you think there's hope somewhere if we change this manager and the next one just come, we'll click with that one? Because
I
wait,
yeah.
go ahead, Alex.
I will be very frank. I'm trying to sit here and think what manager is going to make these guys play well. Think about the list of managers I said that half these players are failed under.
Mm,
LVG, possession.
LVG. Yeah,
Jose, win at all costs.
yeah,
Defensive counter attack.
yeah,
Ole, vibes.
yeah.
Uh, double R, high press, getting
High
press,
press.
whatever it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
right? Ten Hag was high press, high intense football, where he was at Ajax anyway, for sure. And now he's gone from he did counter attacking the first season. He tried to play
Mm-hmm.
football, then went counter attacking, then won the trophy, got third place, and then to this season he's trying to do that high energy, get the ball high as much as possible because there's six players out there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, quite frankly, most of all of 2024 and pretty much December as well, all I've been seeing is us getting dominated by the opposition team. So these are a lot of managers that have gone through that know about football. Maybe not Ole, but everyone else knows football. They have a career in football, good
Yeah,
careers.
yeah.
And yet, as you said, 10 years, we ain't seeing it. We haven't. What do we even have in our name? A Europa League, two Carling Cups. Do we even have an FA Cup? I don't even. Yeah, we have
Yeah,
an
we have
FA
a
We
Cup,
FA
have
We
Cup.
have
FA
FA
right?
Cup.
Cup. I think
We
two.
don't have
With
a league.
LVG,
Two FA Cup,
FA
Yeah,
two
Cup.
FA Cup, two Carabao Cup,
we don't
and a
have a, we
Euro
don't
Cup.
have a league title. We don't have
Mm,
Yeah,
Champions League. I mean, we're
yeah,
not even really named with Champions League anymore. It's
yeah.
that
exactly.
bad. Like Europa is more our thing now. So you're right. I don't think there's a manager out there. The managers that I know that are available, they're not going to come in here and be a hit within one season.
Okay.
So if a new manager comes, you have to give him 3 seasons, at least two. Ten Hag is on his second season. This is why I'm saying I'm 50-50. I don't want to
Yeah,
get rid of
yeah,
him.
yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
him
I
to
get
see
you.
the third, especially now with new management, right? New
Mm-hmm.
guys on the top. I want to see what this third is like. Maybe I'll give him to January. If I think, bro, we're playing the same way as you played in the second season and I didn't like. And remember, the first season as well, we had some moments when we were playing this ugly as well, that first season,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
If he's doing the same thing again, this January, I'm gonna be like, again, now I'm out. Now I'm out because you're not
True.
improving. So
Yeah.
right now, this is why I said it's hard for me to say Ten Hag out
Mm-hmm.
when these players, these failures are still at the club.
Before you go, Olmo, I want to welcome Jarvis to the stage and let head Jarvis have to say, and then we'll pass the ball to you, right, Olmo? Big up to you,
Sure, no
Jarvis, for
problem. No
coming in.
problem.
What's going
Hey,
on, my bro? How you doing tonight?
hey guys, hey.
Jarvis,
Man,
the master tactician. Jarvis, I've been wanting to ask you this question. Why don't you just send in something to United and be like, yo, Ineos, yo, look at me, Troller. I could work with this team. I could get these people out of here.
No. I'm not claiming to be an oracle when
No,
it
but
comes.
you know how to set it because I see most of your time you set up your tactical the way you interpret these things tactically, right? It makes me like most of the time like I want to listen to Jarvis. So I'm just saying,
Yeah,
just
but
for jokes though.
sometimes I get it wrong, and there's like nuances that I don't see that they see. So it's
Mm.
hard for the normal football fan to actually understand what's going on. Talking a little bit about the Manchester City game, for example, uh, we were sitting down in a low block, and something changed in the second half. Someone in the chat on Poppy's live stream said something, and I noticed it, but I didn't think of it because in the first half City was pressing us and they were standing really high, but that was Ten Hag's intention. He wanted them to stand as high as possible so there was room in behind for us to run into.
Yeah.
So that's why Onana was keeping hold of the ball all the time, long sequences, and
Mm-hmm.
City was just getting impatient and just pushing and pushing and pushing and wanted to go further and further up, and their back line was like 10
Pushing up,
meters,
yeah.
15 meters up in our half, so
Yeah.
they were really high line in behind. But in the second half, Guardiola noticed this, and his pressure was a little bit lower. So actually we had a spell of possession in the 50 to 60th minute, but suddenly just City turned on the knob and scored a goal. So this is just the tactics that's going on, and it's so subtle that you don't even recognize it when
Notice
you
it,
see the
yeah.
game, and you have to see it one more time just to actually understand it. So this is my problem sometimes when I come on in halftime on Poppy's channel and we talk about tactics. Sometimes the thing I say is totally wrong because I don't get the full pitch view. You can't see it all.
Okay, after having said what you just
Wait,
said,
real quick to add to that, Jarvis, I could see that because of Onana, the ball wasn't played for like I believe 72 minutes or 73 minutes out of the 90 minutes. Because of Onana, the way like he holds onto the ball, that's how long like the ball was in play because of him.
Yeah. Unana was fantastic, and but I think it was on purpose, and for once Unana was allowed to play the game he wanted to play, the one he did at Inter. The the the,
Yeah,
the same thing in the Champions League final. Inter just let City press them so
press,
they can
yeah.
just play out from the back because he has the composure and he's calm on the ball. So actually it gave us a little bit of an advantage at that time, but
Okay.
we weren't
Having
good
having
enough.
said what you just said, Jarvis, right? Now it fits into what we've been talking about, right? So because based on what you noticed and the tweak that Pep did right in the second half. So you what you're saying is if we had players that were clinical enough, we should have at least been 2 goals up or even maybe three. Based because if we because I noticed when we were pushing them right when they were sucking them into us like you said
Mm.
Onana was holding the ball and making them edgy and they were coming into us. We were getting that room. Rashford at least I think in the first half had chance to actually score a second goal, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
yes. Um so now that was in one on the one hand maybe clever from Erik Ten Hag, but he didn't really have the players to finish to actually perfect the execution. So now going back now, do you think right? Because do you think because the title of this show is actually giving the manager more time? Do you think like it's something that they can work on in the summer, give Erik Ten Hag one more season, or no? Summer, go get a new manager, new management, get your new coach, get everybody in new, and maybe still work with these players
Now,
because
Drex,
reports are
we
having it.
talked about this yesterday on
Mm,
Jarvis's corner about
yeah,
about you know the people who are going to assess Ten Hag's job.
yeah,
For once in 18 years, we have footballing people in charge. We
100.
have Omar Barada and his gang. So they will assess Ten Hag not on emotions, not purely on results. They will look behind and actually understand what's going on. And Ten Hag is doing a lot of great tactical moves, but they are so subtle that a lot of the YouTube fan base and Twitter fan base, especially, they don't even know what's actually going on. I try to point out some of the nuances, but it's hard. And for the common football fan, it's almost impossible to understand. And if you have Joe Glazer taking those decisions, then it's easy. Then you just act
Impulse.
on the scoreboard, the emotions, and say, okay, it's not good enough, you're out. But Umar Barada, if Ashford comes in and Wilcox, and we have a lot of footballing guys. There was one new guy today. What's his name again? Was linked to Man United.
I
Oh,
forget
is it?
his name, you know.
Yeah, but
But
it doesn't
not the
matter. It doesn't
Sporting
matter. But
Lisbon one, right?
yeah, there's a team now, and they will assess Ten Hag. They will see these things. They will see behind the results, and that's important for me. So I don't think Ten Hag will get a sack. They will understand the injuries are taking a toll on this team. It affects the way we play,
Yeah,
and
Dougie Freeman. Yeah, I
in a
think
way
that's the
the,
name.
the the material players aren't good enough to play this style Ten Hag wants. But then again, in this summer we can't expect Sir Jim Ratcliffe to come in and we will like dominate the transfer market and sign
Hmm.
10 players. It won't happen. I think we will have a budget of 150 millions maybe. That will get us like one world class player and two mediocre players and maybe one young guy. That's it. So this is what we must expect because Sir Jim Ratcliffe has said it. He said he will put his money on infrastructure and football structure, but not on into the squad because first we need to make money. We need to increase the revenue. So this is a long term plan. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and people need to understand this because the expectations for the summer is way too high. I'm almost certain that we won't sign um, for world class players and totally renew and change the squad.
Yeah.
150
Manj,
million. That's the aim, I think. So we got to be realistic.
facts. I mean, I
Sorry to
was thinking
interrupt you
that, and I
guys,
was
yeah.
saying that earlier. Manj, what you saying, bro?
Big up, man. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
hear you, bro. What are your thoughts? Well, we were talking about basically on the information that we have so far. If we
Yeah.
put Eric Ten Hag on a one-on-one versus Arteta based on the same amount of games, I had the stats up, so I know you probably saw that. And I'm gonna bring up some more information now, so I'll let you be the one to start it off with this bit of information here. And let's put it full screen so everybody could see it for a few minutes,
I'll put mine full screen as well. Yeah. Okay. First,
So
um, after hearing what you guys are saying about, uh, I didn't hear the full conversation. Which part you on now? You put on about transfers or just these 100 games? What's the
no,
barometer?
basically,
No,
when we
looking
just
at the
saying, well, look, whether you're for Ten Hag or you're on defense or you're for Ten Hag out, based on the season, the situation with injuries, the situation with the transfers, with
Yeah.
the takeover, with all those things, all these different things that he experienced this season, right? I know
Yeah.
it's not a big deal and a grand, well, how to say it, factor in the reason why we're not playing at the best we
Mm,
could possibly be playing right now, but it also
yeah.
impacts the way, the consistency, the routines, the patterns of play, we don't we I mean we played the 37th back four pairing for the
Mm.
season on Sunday against City. So, I was just saying maybe it might not just be on his particular fault that we play in this way, because as we could see, some of the same players who did the same thing 18 months ago and 18
Yeah.
months before that are doing it again right now. So basically, just what you think, from as a
Re-
United fan.
reluctantly, I hate to say this, but I'm Ten Hag out, man.
Fair enough.
To be honest with you, I can't back any manager reluctantly because I know this is for the future managers as well, whether it's a De Zerbi or a Graham Potter, whatever. I can't back these managers because I don't trust these players because I know they'll down tools at any minute. It's like a cycle that's going to be never ending until we get rid of the players. You see, I'm going with this, so
Mm.
that's the thought I'm at. So trust no one, get the results. Ineos, it's up to you. See what you want to say, see what you want to do, and we're moving it.
Yeah, I just want to ask you a question, Manch, when it comes to
Yeah.
that you are Ten Hag. I respect that. It's not a Ten Hag in or out debate in a way.
Yeah.
But you have to be more nuanced than that. But uh, thinking back, last season when we had the interim manager Ragnick was there, everything fell apart. We lost so many games. The players was just down tooling, and
Mm.
then Ten Hag came in that summer. How long were you willing to give Ten Hag? And how
For
long would you
me,
think
yeah,
this project would take for him to get this team going?
that's a good question. I'll
Still.
try and give you a good answer.
Yeah,
For me, I think if this happened last season, then great. But then the first time I'm hearing like microphones go off in the background. I'm not sure if it's me or not.
um I'm not sure.
Is it
you're
me?
good now. You should be good now.
It's,
Go
it
ahead.
should
Okay,
be.
cool. For me, no, I could still have microphones. Maybe it's me. I don't know.
Connor in the back room, the green room.
I was at first. Fair enough.
Okay.
Uh, for for me, it's like if they had the season like we have in season. If this was a season last season, then I'll give him time because this is the first season, right?
Mm.
But because Liverpool and Tottenham and Chelsea, let's just take Chelsea out of this, because Liverpool and Tottenham were rebuilding, right? And they were punching below their weight. We were punching above our weight. Because of the expectations build more pressure onto the manager, which means the players aren't taking accountability at this stage. And I feel like they're going to throw this manager underneath the bus and future ones. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, okay, okay, cool enough.
I hope that's explained. I
No,
hope that's explained.
so what you're saying, mind, if I get you correctly, what you're saying now is, so as long as some of these players are here, right, there's no point
Mm.
backing any manager, even if there's no point backing any manager, even if Eric Ten Hag gets fired in the summer, right? and a new guy comes in, there's no point backing them. Just let them just be what they want to be and wait for the players to do what they normally do, like what this guy, like what what's his name, um King says.
Mm.
Leopard will never change the sport, so we're just gonna wait for them or until most of these players are actually gone. Is that what that's
That's
that? I think that's what you're trying to say, right?
yeah, more or less just a cycle. We're going to be here again. Unfortunately, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, Abs mentioned something earlier. He said he's although he's 50-50, but he's willing to like give the manager maybe till January. I've actually echoed that a lot of time. Like I say, let him go into his last year of his contract. If by
Mm.
December, right, he's not doing, there's no improvement, because let's say for example we get the medical team sorted out right now. Ineos comes in, they get us one of the best set piece coach in the world, because we
Yeah,
need that, we need that set piece coach a lot, right? And we're able to get maybe, like Javi said, 150 million, and we spend it wisely, right? Gets in maybe two, three, or max four players in with that, with the tight squeeze from that money, right? And still yet there's no improvement, yo, I'll be hands up and say, yo, it's time to go, because guess what, you've done two and maybe two and a half, and we're not seeing any improvement right at that point. So for me, it's like I've always said, just let's just let. I know fans are so eager to want a new manager, just want a new name. Some of the fans out there don't like this manager for many reasons. Some of them feel like he's too stubborn, which Abs echoed it. Not because that's not the reason why Abs is 50-50, but he echoed the fact that Eric Ten Hag is too stubborn, right? Some actually
hmm
because they are more player FC than actually the team, right? So whatever it is, I just wish fans could just be like, you know what, let's see what the new thing is. Omo, I know you are a conk you are a conk Tenak
Oh yeah, big up
outside.
Jarvis. There. It's been a long
Oh,
time. Big up to you.
listen,
Yeah,
I've been telling Hog out since the
yeah, but
Everton Prisoner win.
yeah, but you still find a way to actually give him some accolade when he does things that you like,
Yes,
right? But
yes. If he does something good, like I will give him still like, okay, yes, Ten Hag did something here that I see, like hopefully continue to, like the match versus Man City. I think that he did that well. I look at it like, okay, you didn't have nobody on your bench to come on to change the game. So I would say, okay, I'm like, okay, I see that. I see that. Now I'm looking at your next game. I'm like, I don't accumulate every game altogether. I take it game by game. I see Man City, you didn't have the players on the bench to maybe to draw out the game or maybe try to get a win or try to steal a win from City. Okay, I understand that. Now I'm looking at your next game and hopefully he does not ignore the midfield because that's been my issue from the beginning. Hopefully, he does not ignore the midfield because again, that compactness versus City, I liked it. He hasn't done that in the past, and that what has let him down. So again, this game, even though he did make some mistakes here and there that I watched the game over, again, I look at it game by game, game by game. But you already know me. End of the season, thank you, Ten Hag. You can go.
Abs, 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 what are you expecting in the next three games? Because I heard something, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, that says yeah, yesterday, that Ten Hag has like three games to decide for Ineos, right? And which for me is Bullocks. But what are
I
you
think that's
expecting?
stories. I think that's stories. I don't. So just last week, well, actually, no,
Hmm.
just this weekend, wasn't it Paul Scholes and Gary Neville saying he thinks Ineos have already made a decision, and then all of a sudden,
Yep.
now we're saying it's 3 games until they make a decision. I think it's simple. As we said, we've got a team of football men now making decisions.
Mhm.
They will not rush it because not only is decision already massive, but this is their first big move. They can't get it wrong. So I think they would be careful what they do and how they deal with things. Um, so I don't see the next 3 games being his last game or his game to prove himself. I think he has until the end of the season, and I think his position will definitely affect their choice, but also how many of the troubled players are they going to get out of the team as well?
Facts.
Matt just said it, and now he said Ten Hag out because of the players. I'm saying Ten Hag 50-50 because of the players. How many of them I have to leave before I can really judge it?
Oh
By the
yeah.
way, I was looking at these odds, and I do not like the fact that Potter's odd is the best one there.
Oh,
I'm not a
I
fan
have
of
it.
this nonsense.
I have a crazy theory about that Porter thing. I'm thinking maybe
I,
after
I,
the
I,
next
have- I have a
question.
theory. I have a theory that's going to be deserving.
I have it too.
It
So
can't be Deserby.
now,
Jesus.
Omo, you just spoke about Deserbi. I have a theory about Potter, right? You spoke about Deserbi right now. See, Deserbi has been having the same issue that Ten Hag has been having at the same time. Deserbi has been facing a lot of injury concern, right? Isn't
Yes.
that some sort of a blueprint as to what we can expect if he's hired at United?
Yes, because that's also another thing that my other issue with Ten Hag that I just realized I didn't know that I have, which was like, you have a plan A. Do you have a plan B? And it's like,
Never has a plan B.
to me, Ten Hag doesn't have a plan B. It doesn't look like he has a plan B. Like, everything is plan A. If it's plan B, it doesn't work. That's it. That's it. Everything's out the window. We gotta go back to plan A. And that's what the Zerbi is going through right now. Because I heard that Mitoma is injured to the end of the season. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at him like, okay, how will you manage without Matoma? Can you adapt? Can you sink or swim? Or are you gonna keep struggling there? Cause you gotta get back that Europa spot. I don't care how many games you have to play. Like, yeah, more games as well. Same thing as Ten Hag had last season. Like, to me this is more like his interview. Like, if he wants a United job, how can he handle at the season? And why I think he's gonna be more deserving because OG Nice manager is from the Zerbi class. It is Zerbi goalkeeping coach at Sassuolo. So that's why I think that for me is why I think like it's gonna be the Zerbi. But I might be wrong, but
Can I
it's just
throw
my connection between Manchester United and OGC Nice.
sorry to
Abs, go
interrupt.
ahead.
Can I
Go
just throw
ahead.
something in this, right? This Deserby talk, this Potter talk is crazy to me because, as again, let me go through that list of managers that these guys have screwed up under. Once again, Van Gaal, Jose, Ole, he's in the same boat, I guess. Double R, and now Ten Hag. Deserby and Potter are going to come to United with no pedigree.
Facts.
No pedigree, no wins, no nothing. Just hype. And come to these players that are messing up against people that win stuff. And they're going to come and make it better. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not. And I keep telling people, look at De Zerbi's record with Brighton. It goes up and down. And the wins are always talked about. And the losses. Didn't he lose 3-0 this weekend?
Yeah.
The losses
Yes.
are big losses. No one says anything about it. Just gets once again swept underneath
the rug. Yeah.
Absolutely, he's not the man. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see Potter. Potter's already had his experiment at Chelsea. That can't come to United.
The way I see, real quick about the Zerbi, the way Potter, the way I see it, the next manager is a stepping stone for the next manager. Next manager is gonna come here is not gonna last more than 3 years. You're just here for the stepping stone and we move on. That's how I see the managers that are coming in. Like, okay, do 2-3 years. Okay, you got us what we need. Like, they're all stepping stones pretty much. Any man that come in is a stepping stone. Because I don't think it will be a big manager. The Potter, 2 years, you're gone. The Zerbi, 2-3 years, you're gone. The next manager is not lasting more than 3 years, guaranteed.
So what are we going to have in those 2 years?
What are we doing
expecting in those 2 years?
What are we doing changing managers like we're changing underwears? It's not sustainable.
It's gonna be like that to get the.
Help me here.
I know
Help
it's
me
not
here.
sustainable. It's not sustainable, but it's constantly recycling managers to get the right one. Like, watch, it's gonna be recycled all day.
I have to ask again, what are we expecting in those 2 years then? So Ten Hag has won a trophy and top 4. Is that what we're expecting from Giuseppe and Potter? Because I don't see that. Hey, don't bring them then.
No, top four is probably what they're looking at on the Champions League. That's it.
Abs end to end. The bars on the floor, man.
Bro, the bar's in hell. What do you mean bars?
You know what I'm saying?
Bars being nice.
Bars has been in the bottomless pit.
Bars in hell, bro. No, please.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here's my theory, right? My theory on who the next manager is gonna be is they say Brasford and Sajim are tight bodies, right? Really close bodies. Now, Brasford and Dan Ashworth are very close, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Porter and Ashworth are very close. You see where I'm going with this? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a case of my friend knows a friend that knows a friend that can do the job, right?
There's also
So
something else in here as well.
Jumps for the boys, man.
The first story I heard online about
mm,
this takeover by Ineos was I forgot his name, but basically saying that United has lost their English core and he wanted to bring that back. So I panicked straight away because I knew Potter is probably the English manager you can get, or the guy at Newcastle.
How?
Probably wouldn't say no to him, but Potter absolutely not, right? And then I thought English core. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna just go out there, and we're not gonna be out there and picking the best talent in Europe. We're gonna go and pick the best talent in England. And I just started panicking from that point.
no, but abs to check you there, right? But when Potter was at Brighton, he didn't just go picking the players, the best players from or whatever players that he had from England. He actually went out. He had
I know
scouts that
Potter
went
did,
out.
but remember, the owner said he wants his English
True
core
though. True,
back.
true, 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 true.
That's a crazy statement.
End to end. You know what's happened next year?
That's why
Potter
we.
goes
That's why we.
and we'll
That's
get
why we're
Southgate.
linked to. That's why we're linked to Ross Barkley.
Oh my god.
Yay!
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 Love that.
Listen,
Excitement.
this is why we have grown men at the top making football decisions. Just do the football decision, and whatever manager comes in, let them work.
All I'm
Jarvis,
saying
what?
is last
Like for
year I
example,
didn't watch
for
football.
example,
Yeah, go on, almost. Sorry.
now I was gonna say if Ten Hag stays, like part of me wants to stay, but I'm like, if he stays, don't get him the play he wants. If this man say he wants this player, they should not back him. Get the player that they think is gonna work for their system overall.
Yeah, they have to do the
Don't
proper
get players for him.
coaching.
Like that. That's it. Nobody's gonna get the player you want. You get one or two players. That's it. But
I agree.
apart from that, you get the player we want.
But
Sorry,
Connor,
boys. I
are
just
you
want to add
there?
this last bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
my
just
mic
want to add
was
this
just a
last
bit.
bit. Last weekend, I took a break from football. I
Mhm.
ignored the Man United Fulham game, and I picked a new sport called rugby. Guys, join me. Beers, some little fights, just
Uh-huh.
fun. Yeah, that crowd is
Abs.
lovely. Don't
Abs.
because if
I
you
was
bring
cricket,
Cotter,
man.
Zerbi, and
That's
them,
it.
man, rugby's my thing. I ain't doing football no more.
Nah, I feel
Uh,
like
let me
the
get Connor in here. Go ahead,
Kind of
Connor.
big up.
yeah, no, I feel Abs was saying quite a bit of sense. When you come to Deserby, you look at his record. People forget about his losses. I feel like that's what got part of the Chelsea job. Like, because when he beats a big team, it's not like, oh, look at him, he's tactical genius, he can beat a big team. No, big teams lose all the time. It happens sometimes, and it happens to Potter a lot. But when he's in charge of a big team, he can't handle the pressure. In my mind, he, when you was at Brighton, if you got the pressure of, oh, you've got to go to the Champions League midweek, you've got to go do this, you've got to go do that. No, he just fumbled under the pressure, and I feel De Zerbi is in the same category as that because he's what he got beat 5-1 by Everton. He lost 3 at the weekend. He's lost quite a bit this season, and I feel you can blame it on injuries. Sure, that's a valid excuse. However, he's supposed to be the tactical genius that can change if he gets injuries, but yet he's still going to be losing because of injuries. He's not the manager for United, and I'd still give Erik Ten Hag till next summer. I'd give him this summer, and by the time we get to January, I think it'll be going well. But I think it just needs to be given time, and not rushing into decisions because too many fans are reactionary these days. They want things instantly.
Agreed.
Jarvis, we're gonna come to you before we maybe wrap the thing, take the final note from the guys, right? Jarvis, what are you expecting to see in the next? Because we got, I know we still have a lot of quote and unquote on paper easy games, right? So, but
Mm.
we've got to go past the likes of Everton, Liverpool. I think Liverpool in the FA Cup, then one more person before we go for the break. So, what are you hoping to see in the next 3 games before the international break?
Yeah, we need our players back. You know, it's hampering us a lot. We don't have we have one fullback. That's a big problem, especially when we're trying to build out from the back and keep a hold of possession. But the problem is we don't have Hoylund. Maybe Hoylund will be on the bench against Everton. Maybe, but that's also a big problem. We all know we can't trust Rashford. So for me now, we just need I think for us to come through this with some dignity, I think we need Ten Hag to find a master class something. He needs to pull a rabbit out of the hat because we won't even beat Everton without a striker and a fullback.
No, but
You
did
know,
you hear that? Did you really see the report that Anthony Martial is started training already?
Martial
He
got a
loves to
goal
go at
against
Everton,
Everton.
bro.
like
So
like what
Goal
let's have
against
it.
Yeah,
Everton.
yeah.
when I saw it, I'm like, yo, Martial and
He's scoring.
Everton, you can never make this up.
Nah, Martial just sees Everton as being a girl with a nice ass in a nightclub and he just wants to go grind up on her. That's all Martial sees
100%.
Everton as being.
In it.
Like, he's moving through the club, he doesn't see anyone he
I'm not
wants.
surprised.
Everton or match fit ready instantly.
I don't want Haaland rushed back. I feel like he's gonna get rushed back.
No,
He is at
but
this rate. He
I
will.
don't mind
he
getting
is.
Oh,
I don't mind Martial getting rushed back at this rate because he'll probably be here for a couple of weeks. Hoyland will probably be fit by then. By the time Hoyland's back, I don't think we'll
But
see more injuries towards the end of the season. And Martial's gone in the summer. Is what it is.
Omo, you say you don't want to see Martial rush back, right? But where else? When else are we gonna get to
no,
see
no,
him
no. I
play?
don't. No, I don't want to see
Hoyland.
Haaland rush
So
back.
Hoyland.
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 Oh,
Oh, okay,
Hoyland.
Hoyland. Because for
No, you go rush Martial versus
guys,
Everton. He likes playing against them.
yeah, Abs. What are you saying? The next 3 games before the break, because I know the break would come with maybe some respite for us and the team, right? What are you hoping to see?
What are the
Well,
games?
I mean, the 3 games are Everton
Liverpool.
at home, Brentford
Yeah.
away, and Chelsea away.
I think there's Liverpool in between.
No, it's Liverpool. It's
Is it Liverpool?
Everton home
Everton,
and Liverpool.
FA
Oh, okay,
Cup.
I'm just
Liverpool FA
looking at
Cup.
the Prem, so
Oh yeah,
apologies for
okay,
that
okay.
one. I'm just gonna do the two at the Prem then. Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, Everton.
Mm-hmm.
No, we can't lose to them. No. It's,
Everton.
I
I
don't
was
we lose
surprised
to
by the Fulham
Everton, guys.
result.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I was surprised by the Fulham result. We should win that. Liverpool. Oh dear.
Oh, God.
I mean,
Yeah.
we had a draw.
Is
We
it,
got a point. So
No, Mark,
Nah,
let him ponder on his thoughts and find out.
nah. This is a knockout situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you on this one. Even
Yeah.
I'm betting on Liverpool to win. I need to win some money. And I don't. What's it? Brentford after that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should beat Brentford. So 2 wins out of 3.
Okay.
and
Omo. Mark, I'm gonna come to you. Omo, what you saying?
Everton. Listen, the last time we beat Everton, that's when I was ETH out. Let me see. Hopefully, it doesn't kill me by this game, but I expect a win because we are home. Is why I expect a win. We are home. So hopefully, Hardy doesn't get rushed back. Then we have Liverpool.
Yeah.
Listen. I don't know what ETH Magic is gonna do, but listen, this is the only competition you win.
Yeah.
And I think Salah also coming back because he's training. This is a scary time. If some of the players come back, hopefully Wan-Bissaka or Hoyland, use the same tactics he used versus
CD.
City, and he should win this.
Okay.
If he changes anything up, he loses. Use the same tactics he used versus City, and we win.
Manja, you there?
Yeah, man.
What
For
is
me, I think we're just about to get past Everton at the weekend.
mm-hmm.
We must beat Liverpool. I don't care how we do it, just win, man. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
And Brentford away, I think we draw that.
Ooh, okay. Connor, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just pondering the tactics we're going to use because I don't think Hoyland will be back by the weekend. I'm not sure what everyone else's thoughts on, but from the derby, the tactics wise, I get we sat back and we defended quite a bit, but when we're playing Everton, if we use them same tactics but we're a bit more advanced and a bit more creative going forward instead of sitting back as much as we did, I think we'd be okay playing that same team and
Mm-hmm.
we'd beat Everton.
Sorry to interrupt you on that one. Everton are not going to play like
No, no,
City.
no, no,
They're
no,
not
no,
gonna
no,
press
no.
us.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying like prepare for the press. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
don't play
Compact.
Rashford as don't play Rashford as your striker.
Oh, okay.
Play Bruno and McTominay as them
Oh
two
yeah, because
tens
that
as
was
like the
Bruno's
false.
best game of the season.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
no,
I
that's what I'm
agree.
saying. Like I'm not saying play what's it called, defensive, sit back. No, I'm playing the formation of the team like sit
Okay.
with the striker. Yeah, like that. I'd say we'd beat Everton. Then we've got Liverpool in the cup again. Just play like we did at City. but with a bit more aggression and a bit more, like being a bit more clinical from our forwards, I should say, or maybe Hoyland might back and we might be playing a different style. Then we've got Brentford. I
Yeah.
think they've not looked the same team this season since the start of the season without Tony, and now Tony can't bet on himself to score. I don't see him doing very well. So I reckon we'll do Brentford. And yeah, I just think tactically we just need to stay the same because we looked solid in a sense of when we were playing like against City, we looked a lot more better defensively than we have in any other game this season, in my mind. It's
All
a weird
right.
thing to say considering we held three, but we looked really good defensively.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mark, are you back from the Glazers office because you seem to
Bro,
have
the
gotten a
Glazers
laptop?
are bro again assassinated here, bro. Somebody nuking my laptop. I know what's going on here. Again kicked out the stream on my own stream. But big up to all of you
Mark,
guys.
Mark,
Thanks so much.
before I come to you, I know this your system is from the Glazers office, but before I come to you, let me just get the Jarvis, right? I like the 4-2-2-2 thing we saw with Man City, right? Do you think it's a way to go for it's a way to go? Like we could actually maybe Eric Ten Hag could hold on to that and see how maybe try it for the next 2-3 games and see if it actually works and perfect it in during the international break. Do you think it's something that you can see him doing going forward?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I liked it, the 4-2-2. But you can see it's very exhausting because it's a lot of distances we have to cover, especially when we play as deep as we did against Manchester City. Because every time we try to attack, we have the whole pitch to
Going,
run
yeah,
up
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah,
down.
can I just
So
add a point? Oh,
it's
sorry.
it's a little bit, but the 4-2-3-1 isn't the best formation either at the moment. We don't have the players actually to play this. I addressed that we need more dribblers in the team, more technical players. And when I mean dribblers, I don't mean dribblers like Anthony Flair type
No,
of
no, no,
dribblers.
no.
Like a Matthias
We
Dribble.
need like
Nunes.
Andres Iniesta type of
Yes,
dribblers,
yes,
people who are
yes.
technical enough to get out of
To
tight
elude, yeah.
spaces. This is what we
So,
need
so could I
on the
ask?
team right now, and a lot of them, at least two or three. So, for
Mark.
example, if the Serbi comes in and we
Uh-huh.
get a player like Mitoma, for example, I think he would be a good signing for us going forward, playing the style that Ten Hag wants to play, because I don't think he plays the style he wants to play. You got to remember one thing: Anthony has been shit since he came to this team. Why did Ten Hag buy him in the first place? Because when he had Anthony in Ajax, Anthony
Guys,
performed for him almost every game. He scored, I think it was 0.44. So almost every other game he scored a goal, and he had a lot of crosses and assists all the time. I know it's Eredivisie, it's a lower level, but then again, we should expect more. But when we come to when Ten Hag came to the Premier League, the first 2 3 games, I think he got a shock because of he lost against Brentford
Yeah,
and
Brentford
Brighton. And
And
then
Brighton, yeah.
I think he just pulled the emergency brake and figured out, okay, I can't do it this way. I need to change it up. And then the team wasn't suited for Anthony. But I think Ten Hag is keeping Anthony and wants him to succeed, but it will be on the next stage of football. So I
Can,
think the Anthony thing isn't done yet.
can
If
I
we
just
get the
quickly add something?
right type of
Oh,
players in, we will maybe see the old Anthony that played in Ajax in the Ajax system, because
System.
people calling Ten Hag a fraud because he came here and like we're going to play the Ajax system, but he gave
Yeah,
us something else, the
yeah,
counter-attacking transition system
yeah.
that that's not, it's boring to look at. It's like cowardly, like playing on the back foot. We want to be dominating in
It's
front.
like Ole negative two. Ole
Yeah, and
negative.
that's the thing. But I think Ten
Ole
Hag
Pro
figured out
Max.
that this
No,
group
no,
of
that's not even
players.
Ole Pro Max. It's Ole negative. It's like a lower version of Ole's
Yeah,
football.
yep.
yeah, in a way, but there's nothing wrong playing counter-attacking football. Alex Ferguson did it all the time, especially when we played in Europe.
Yeah,
That's an old Man United trade of school. We have been doing this for a lot of the time, but there's nothing wrong with it. But we can't be our one and only style of play. We need something else, especially against the teams in the bottom half of the table.
yeah,
we should
lower.
be we should easily be beating them. If you see Arsenal play against Sheffield United
Whew.
6-0, they have no problems, because you could see the level of strengths Arsenal was
Yeah,
over Sheffield
overpowering them.
United.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
what we want, you know. I can handle a loss now and then, you know, and I understand that we can't compete for the league every season, and maybe it's not realistically to think we can compete for the league in the next 2 3 years, and I think that's just the way it is. But I want to see good football. This is what we all want. So we need better players, and I think Ten Hag has more up his sleeve.
Mark, go
Uh,
ahead. Okay, Connor, go ahead. After Connor,
yeah,
Connor, after you, then Mark. Mark is Mark
yeah.
here. Oh, Mark is
No,
gone
it's still
again.
connected. No, I just wanted to add the point onto what Jarvis was saying in the sense of the 4-2-2-2 style of football is it requires a lot of running. Um, Against the big teams like City and Liverpool that will press us when we're going to be set an hour and a half, that's when it will require a lot of running. But when you're going to be playing against teams like Everton's or like Sheffield United or maybe Chelsea, your teams that aren't going to be ours, Chelsea will press us, but I don't think they've got the players that will do it effectively. When we're playing
It's
against them lighter opponents, the opponents that aren't the best, that's where that formation in my mind is going to be useful when we've got a limited squad, because it's not going to be as much running against Everton that it was against City. Like, because obviously when you're going up half the pitch to go and attack, I understand it. When Everton are going to let us sit off and have the ball whilst we're going to be able to play the formation that works, it's going to be more expansive and more, how can I say, more productive for the team and give us more opportunities to score.
it's so funny because this was Radnick's formation that he
Hmm.
wanted. He
They don't
wanted
want
to
Yeah,
to.
I
play
was
and he
I
liked
was
it.
gonna say that.
And
Yeah.
the players didn't like it. Look, we've done
Yeah.
a full circle now.
I think the players also didn't like the fact the way not Ollie left the club, but like the way they got forced mid-season. Like, oh, it's an interim manager. He's not going to be our manager, and like come summer, we'll just not have to work
Ooh,
as hard. We don't have to do as much effort. And I feel like maybe they've been told certain things by Ineos now they've come in. Ten Hag's not going. This is your manager. Either you work for him or oh well, you're going. Like,
yeah.
cause
Yeah, especially when you go on to the interviews and say, yeah, we need 10 new players. If you're a player at that point, you're thinking, whoa, so where am
yeah,
I going to
Hold
be?
up. Hold up.
yeah. No, it's
Mr.
more in this.
Interim
Am I
Manager.
leaving or am I staying?
Yeah, it's like one of them. It's sort of like when you see it as being like Ineos have probably come in and said, "Listen, you're not if you're not good enough, we don't care if the manager wants you. You're not good enough. You go in like type of thing. It's not going to be of, oh well, the manager will be gone. The new manager might want to keep him now. It's not Glazer settings. They will actually care about the players who they're keeping at the club and who's going.
Mm.
It's not. That's why I feel like the players going to be a bit more in the mood to sort of turn up. Like Casemiro even came out and said he hopes Ineos do well for the club. And I think
Guys, I really, really want to appreciate you all for actually taking your time to come on this stream and give us your thoughts on what's happening. I know Ab said he's 50-50. We all know Omo is almost there. Mark, are you here?
Big up, guys.
Go ahead and close up
So,
the shop
I
for
don't
us.
know if I might cut out again because the Glazers are killing me right now, guys.
Just go ahead and close up the
Thank you for
shop.
each and every one of you, everyone in the comments, all of you guys, Abs, Omo, Manj, Connor. Big up to you, Jarvis, and thank you so much, Drex, for hosting the show while I was dealing with the technical difficulties. I agree with what most of you are saying. You know, I'm a Ten Hag, so I'm always going to have the say where I think maybe we should get rid of some of these players before we get rid of the manager. I think I don't really think realistically there's any manager is going to come in and be a quick fix or solve the problem with these players. Like I said in the beginning of the show, we have a mixed bag of nuts and half of the bag not tasting good or it's spoiled. So in Trini terms, bro, we just had to say it as it is, in my opinion. I think,
Hmm.
we have some players who have shown that they know they could fit the system and they will willing to work hard. But we also have some players who have shown that they're not yet they know they need to like our manager or whatever reason is something is always taken away from their performance. If I look back at Ten Hag's performance over the space of the 18 months he's been here, I would say that he improved more players who we probably would have gotten rid of before or wanted to get rid of before he came, and now we're thinking about it. Well, they're kind of performing well. So I look at it like we have seen with the academy his improvements there. We've seen some youngsters come from the academy that we probably would not have seen under another manager. So it's just one of those things where I think the only thing we could do is give him some time. Yeah, Manchester United used to winning everything because the song about us is we've seen it all, done it all, and won it all. But right now, we not that. And it's unfair to fans. It might be a little bit unfair to us, unfair.
And he's gone.
Oh,
Glazer's got him.
Yeah.
the Glazers got him right at the
This
key
snipe,
moment.
this snipe team, this
I just want to say
guys, man.
one
Oh,
more
go
thing
ahead, go ahead.
before
Yeah.
we go. It's about the Ineos. People got to remember.
I think I get cut out, guys. Sorry about that. But
Okay, he's back.
No, 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 no. Jarvis, finish up, finish up, finish up.
finish up,
Yeah,
Max,
just want to
Jarvis.
go on.
say one more thing about Ineos, and you got to remember Ineos. They are masters of PR, and
Oh yes.
we know this from the takeover that everything they leak, everything they have people in the press, they have journalists, they even know. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe knows all these media moguls that runs all the British papers and the news outlets. So they know how to run this show, and they are feeding us like drips and pieces into this, and they will never say that Ten Hag is safe. They will never say any players are safe. Now they're building a structure, footballing structure, and if you think about it, it doesn't even matter if Ten Hag stays for another year. If they build a solid structure, they will tell Ten Hag what players to buy, what
Yeah,
type of football to play,
yeah.
tell him to coach the team and pick the starting 11. But they are the men in charge. So in a way, why rush it? Just give Ten Hag a little bit more time, and they will probably change Ten Hag in 2 years' time anyway. But from now, just let Ten Hag stay, in my opinion.
All
I
right.
think,
Go ahead, Connor. Before
yeah.
because Connor, you're gonna close for us, right? So,
Uh,
GB, I see what you're saying there, right? The teenagers, week after week, the injuries, no back for
Hmm.
everybody actually said this. They put this, all of these are the variables we've actually put together and said, okay, you know what? So most of us actually saying, give this manager his time, right? He's had to deal with a lot of stuff, like he's had to deal with the Ronaldo thing, the what you call it, the Greenwood thing, even the takeover saga. He had to deal with that. The uncertainty around that actually affected the team in one way or the other, right? So, like we've all said, like most of us have actually said, right? Just give the guys time and let's see. Let Ineos do the building, like what Jarvis just said a while ago. Let Ineos do the building, create the structure. Football men are actually behind the scene working their socks off to actually make sure that the sporting side is good. Connor, final words from you.
Final words, I'd say back the manager. Um, Allow Ineos the time to build a system, not only just for this manager, but for the future of Manchester United. Because we know Ten Hag might not be here next season because of extenuating circumstances, not only performances, but allow allow time for the next manager if he comes, because people say, "Oh, Rome wasn't built in a day." It's overused now, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and it needs to be looked at in the sense of we're in a project that's going to go for the next 25, 50 years probably. Give it time to be built. You don't expect the house to be built overnight. You don't expect the car to be built overnight. You can't expect a club to be built overnight. You can't expect a manager to be implemented straight away. Just let let stuff not go, but give everyone time. All I can say.
All right. GB is saying he actually posed the question here. Say, would you allow your company to rely on three teenagers to get you to the promised land? More like a question, right? And he's saying that if the three boys weren't as good as they are, who would United play? Abs, I'm just gonna take your comment on that before I say goodbye to everybody.
If I have a business, I will leave it to my three young sons. So yes, I can see that.
Okay.
And in terms of who United play, if we didn't have them, boy, Rasta, I can't even answer that for you still.
Mad one.
All right, GB, there you go. He can't. No, it's a tough question to actually find an answer to. All right, thank you so, Mark. I'm not gonna let you close this. I'm gonna close it myself because the Glazers are out to get you. Guys, I really appreciate you. Big up Jarvis. Big up Mont, Connor.
Big
Abs.
up.
Big up to yourself, my G. Where is Omo? Omo left already. Big up Omo. And everybody in the chat, big up yourself, Craig. Yale, I like to call him Yale, the start man, my main. I think I saw earlier, I saw Raja, I saw Stephanie. Big up yourself. Thank you guys for taking our time to come on the show with us. Thank you. Really appreciate it. On behalf of Mark and myself, I say really, really big thank you to you guys for taking our time. Yo, guys, you know what to do. You guys smash the like on the video, subscribe if you haven't, and yo, you already know where to find Jarvis on MUFC Raiders TV. Jarvis has his own corner right there. Please do smash the like. Do also subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you turn on the notification bell. Like if you enjoy stats like I do, you enjoy tactical breakdown like I do, you want to listen to Jarvis. Also, apps, I don't know where they could find you. Can you just let them know where they could find you?
Yes, sir. I'm on End to End Podcast. We tend to do our live shows on Monday evenings, 8 o'clock onwards.
Okay,
Cool.
you heard it from the man himself. End to End Podcast live show on Monday, 8 o'clock upward onwards, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man doesn't have. I know man doesn't have a channel right now. He's got the. If you love WWE, you should be talking to man. He's got everything you need to know about that sport right there. Big up yourself, man. Thank you for pulling up. Connor, where can we find you? Where can the people find you?
I've got a Twitch that I'm probably going to be streaming Football Manager on maybe tonight. I'll put it in the chat now. Like I'll just type my name in the chat.
All right, guys. If you want to get a few tricks from the football guru, the FIFA guru, you might want to hook up with Connor. Guys, thank you so much. It's been pleasure having you guys. It's your boy Drex and Admiral Drex and Mac and the Glazers are dealing with him. I hope he comes out strong.
He's getting tag teamed by the entire Glazer family. Like they're all sat there on the side, just taking
They got
turns
him.
with
They
Mark.
got him.
Oh,
All right, guys, do have a great night. I think from my end is like what 7:43 p.m. down here. I don't know. I think it's very late down there in the
It's almost
UK.
12 over here.
Oh my days, guys, man. We'd have to
We're
say
doing it
big
for the
good
pleasure,
night.
man.
I know.
Hope
Thank
you
you
guys
so much.
enjoyed it, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys, and we are out of here.
Adios.
bye-bye.
Adios.